What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk, Daniel Dubois. Get this. Negotiations for Usyk to defend titles against Daniel Dubois now underway. The bout will see Usyk, who was formerly undisputed in the cruiserweight division, face the sanctioning body's mandatory challenger, with Dubois having the added bonus of the WBO and the IBF belts on the table as well. Talks have been ordered to take place following the collapse of the undisputed bout between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. Frank Warren, the promoter of both Fury and Dubois, has responded to a recent inquiry from the WBA into Dubois' fitness, as confirmed by Talk Sports' Michael Benson. Quote, Michael Benson says that Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois negotiations are now underway. I'm told by Frank Warren. They sent back medical confirmation as requested by the WBA to prove Dubois has recovered from his injury and is fit to be the next mandatory for Usyk's WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight world titles. Also, it all goes to plan. Dubois will be fighting for the unified heavyweight titles in his 21st fight at 25 years of age. His one loss came from the thudding and relentless hands of Joe Joyce and a conquest of Usyk's amateur career. Dubois' last fight against Kevin Lerena, he sustained a leg injury, which caused him great concern in his latest fight against Kevin Lerena. And that is the fight that people were concerned with, and was reported at the time, the torn ACL that has now been deemed no concern or obstacle for the three-belt fight for Usyk. Warren goes straight back into negotiations with the Ukrainian's team following a frustrating breakdown of his other fighter, Tyson Fury. If Usyk wants another crack at the undisputed before retirement, holding on to his WBA belt against the hard-hitting Dubois is the first obstacle. And let me counterpunch. Life goes on. Daniel Dubois is young and strong, and Oleksandr Usyk has a job to do. You know, he thought that it would be a lot easier trying to become an undisputed champion. The question you ask yourself is, if Oleksandr Usyk would have got that opportunity, would he have continued up this path of fighting these young fighters? Nonetheless, these things are probably meant to happen in the sport of boxing, and Daniel Dubois needs his shot. It was going to happen sooner or later anyway, you know, because if the fight would have happened, those belts all have their own obligations, okay? And since they have their own obligations, Daniel Dubois is that guy that's first on the list. So it's Daniel Dubois first, then more than likely Filip Hrgovic, then Joe Joyce, okay? So we will see how that pans out. But the good thing is that Daniel Dubois' ACL is good, right? I think this will be a very interesting fight. Dubois being a lot slower, a lot more stiffer, a bigger opponent, you know, because he's a big guy, you know. But I think that Oleksandr Usyk wouldn't have a problem with him unless he gets hit by some of that thudding power. Because Dubois, I think, learning from Joshua, would go in attack mode a lot faster. You know, I think he would let his hands fly. You know, so it's either we will see someone that's willing to go out on their shield for a knockout, or someone that will be schooled very badly and look very, very unprofessional, okay? So you're going to see a lot of missing and slipping and a lot of and a lot of footwork and a lot of punches coming from Oleksandr Usyk, or you're going to see a devastating knockout. And who knows, we may see that all on one night. So, Danny Dubois, he's thankful for the opportunity. One door closes, the other one opens, definitely. So the WBA negotiations mandatory negotiations have taken place or started to take place. And the only question I have is, how easy would this fight be to be made with these guys? And if it is another easy fight to make, it will just show you the reflection on when two guys want to really fight, these fights really get made. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of negotiations between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois are underway. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.